So today I'm going to be discussing about how to become an aesthetic nurse here in Nigeria without experience. So let's get into it. What is aesthetic medicine? Aesthetic medicine is all about enhancing people's physical appearance through non-invasive to minimal invasive clinical procedure. So it's all about skin beauty, restoring and improving people's self-esteem and confidence through their skin, because some people, they are not actually proud to go out because maybe of acne, of dark spots, and so many things. So if you're passionate about skin, passionate about beauty, or you are generally tired of bedside nursing, you can actually transition into aesthetic nursing easily. So I actually did it without an experience. I transitioned without an experience, so you can also do it. It's not that hard. The first thing, you already have it, which is the RN license. So you being a nurse is an added advantage already, because you have the knowledge about anatomy of the skin, because basically you are dealing with the skin. So you know the anatomy of the skin, you know infection control, you know how to interact with client, therapeutic communication. So it's an advantage for you to be a nurse already. So if you are not a nurse, you can actually venture into or transition into aesthetic as well, but it's more easier and there is more acceptance rate for a nurse to transition into aesthetic industry. So to become an aesthetic nurse in an aesthetic industry or aesthetic clinic, so there are two ways to it. So firstly, if you have the finance, if you have money down, if you have the finance, you can actually go through this route, and I'll be talking about another way which you can also transition into aesthetic nursing with 0 naira. All right, so firstly, if you have money, if you have the finance, you can actually go directly, after your graduation, after becoming a registered nurse and you have your license, because you actually need your license. You can actually work without license, but it's most preferable to have a license. So if you have a license, firstly, option A, if you don't want to waste time and you have your finance, like I said, you can actually search for aesthetic academy. You can actually search on Google for aesthetic academy. So those academies, they train you on all aesthetic not all, it depends on the one you are paying for. They have basic, we have advanced. Hope you understand. So you can actually register for the basic, basic. You can actually register for the basic, and that basic is not just basic. They are teaching you a lot of things in the basic class. So something like basic facials, some people can have advanced facials as well. You'll be trained on chemical peel, microdermabrasion, microneedling. Some people can also teach you on laser therapy, laser teeth whitening, laser hair removal, and a lot of things in this training. So all you need to do is take notes and also make videos while you are training. That's if you are going for option A. Hope you understand. So after the end of your training, sometimes the training can be for 2 weeks, so it does not really take time. Some 2 weeks, some 1 month, and some you can actually do it as a part-time, depending on how available you are. When you're looking for aesthetic academy, whether on Instagram, you can see them on Instagram. You can also search them on Google, but they usually post on Instagram. They run Instagram ads. Hope you understand. So you see them, or you can just search. You see them, those direct academy in their Google business profile. So if you are looking for an aesthetic academy, whether on Google or Instagram, kindly make sure that they have hands-on experience. You are going to be training, they're going to be training you hands-on practice. Hope you understand. Don't do online training. Those are just theories. You can actually get that anywhere. You can get it on YouTube, you can search it, but you actually need hands-on experience where you are going to be seeing a live model, where we are going to be using a live model for the practical. Hope you understand. So for the chemical peel, skin type, skin analysis, skin consultation, and a lot of things that are going to be training you, need hands-on experience. So kindly go for a physical training. So after you are done with the training, they are going to be giving you a certificate of participation. So after giving the certificate, you can then include it in your CV. You revamp your CV to an aesthetic employment job type. Hope you understand. So it is not it's not like bedside nursing CV you're going to be using. You're going to revamp it. Hope you understand. So I can actually make a video later on how to change or revamp your CV to please the aesthetic job role. Hope you understand. So when you are done, you can then put it in your CV, and also your introduction in the CV, your introduction about it should be about the aesthetic, majorly your passion for aesthetic and how you are passionate to like work with them, and what you know. Hope you understand basically about aesthetic and how you went for training and all those things. You can do it in your maybe like cover letter, but on your CV, just your normal type of CV, but your work experience you can still put it, because you don't have experience, you can still put where you worked, hospitals you worked. Then you then put in your profile, in your profile you're going to put basically about things about aesthetic. Hope you understand. So that is later. So when you are done with the training, you have a certificate already, you revamp your CV, then you start applying for jobs. Start applying for jobs. There are jobs that you see 1 year experience, 2 years. Some people will not even write it, will just say they need registered nurses. Hope you understand. So that's an advantage for you. So you just apply, and we talk more about what else to do after applying. So I've spoken about option A, then option B. So option B is also the route that I also passed through. So option B is basically nothing much, just for you to like revamp your CV. Basically just revamp your CV, because you're not going for training like option A. So you just revamp your CV. What are you revamping there? Mostly your like profile, and maybe your cover letter. So for your cover letter, you put things about like aesthetic. You've already studied aesthetic like background, like how will I say now, you studied the aesthetic industry yourself, like personal research. Hope you understand. So there's no way you're going to transition without knowing what they are doing there. So you've seen various videos and all the things that they are doing in the aesthetic field. Hope you understand. So you just put your interest, like you like your passion for beauty and so many things, like you have good communication skills, and this can be funny, but do you know that in aesthetic your beauty can actually make the employer employ you? I've seen that actually worked a lot. So your beauty alone can actually make employers employ you. So look good. So revamp your CV, then you start applying for job. Yes, that's just it. Apply for jobs. You see jobs of 1 year experience, 2 years experience, 3 years. You don't have to panic. You can still apply. You can be lucky they can pick you, just for you to like communicate and know where you're coming from and how they can actually train you. And before I forget, because you can actually see some without experience, they will just say they need a registered nurse. Hope you understand. So you can actually apply for that. That's how I started. They just needed a registered nurse. So that's how I also started. That's how I transitioned into aesthetic nursing. I also applied through the option B, revamping my CV. Then I started applying for job roles. So mostly you see, you can actually, instead of going for the ones that they wrote aesthetic nurse, just go for the ones that they write registered nurse instead of aesthetic, because aesthetic nurse is someone that is already trained and certified. Hope you understand. You already have your certificate, so that's how you can be called aesthetic nurse. So if you don't, because if you apply to those ones, you see procedures that you must know how to do chemical peel, you must know how to do botox and fillers and so many other things. But if you just apply for registered nurse, they know that they are receiving you or hiring you as a registered nurse. They know you don't have the experience. Hope you understand. So that's how I started. And my first job, I was only doing IV infusion. I was only doing IV infusion, and I work I think three to 4 times in a week. That's my job. That's the only thing I'm doing. Not the best that I'll be working. So in conclusion, my advice to you that can actually help you get job easily, you can actually reach out to some clinic. So it's either you apply directly when you see job vacancy, or you apply, just search for aesthetic clinic at maybe your location. For example, aesthetic clinic in Ikeja, aesthetic clinic in Lekki, aesthetic clinic in VI, and all those things. So you can actually search for them, then you reach out to them. You can actually call and reach out to them directly. You just list out the names and the phone number or WhatsApp number, then you call them if they are hiring. Just ask them, please, like, just want to make an inquiry if they are hiring presently, and they will tell you yes or no. So So some will reach out to you, get back to you, some will not, so you keep trying. Yeah, then you start also applying the job role. And the salary, yep, that's what you're waiting for. So the salary range, if you don't have experience, just as a registered nurse, they can start with 150, 200. Yeah, but if you are certified, yeah, you've gone for training, you can start with 250, 300, then 300 above. Yeah, so it's a good place to start. And to work, yeah, it's flexible. And the work environment, the client as well, they are loving, not toxic. And you see loving clients, because they are dealing with LD clients, they are not sick, so they're just there to like beautify themselves and correct some skin condition. Hope you understand. So I will also say, for option B, there are some places that they will tell you that they will train you for like 1 year or 2 years. You have to sign a contract, some people 3 years. There was one that I actually saw then, but I thought about my life. I said, no, I cannot be in a place like that for 2 years. If I want to be, let me be there voluntarily, not that I'm going to sign. So if you are okay with it, you are cool with it, you can actually sign the contract. Then they are going to train you on almost everything. Advice for you lastly, if you are transitioning into aesthetic industry, is number 1, revamp your CV very well. Number 2, dress well when you're going for interview, because like I said, your beauty, how you dress, how you present yourself, can even make the employer to hire you. Yes. Then I will also say, be confident and bold, because they will need it. You will need it when you are attending to clients. You can explain the procedure to them very well, because the clients are educated and not sick, so they will ask you various questions and you must be able to answer them correctly. So that's what I would say. So if you want me to help you revamp your CV, kindly comment CV in the comment section, or if you have any question, you can also state it in the comment section, which I'll be replying or be making video on.